First, let's start with this case. My husband is a busy person, but he's not such a busy person that he can't manage invitations from his family and friends if he wanted to. His family and friends act like I'm responsible for his social calendar, which I didn't mind at first because I didn't have anything better to do. But I'm tired of being the one to have to say no to everything. And it sucks having to deal with people trying to convince me to come to things when I know they only really care about my husband attending. I've tried to get them to go to him directly, but he just sends them back my way or ignores them so they come to me anyway. I've spoken to him multiple times about not wanting to be responsible for our social calendar, and he acts like he gets it but then never responds to invites, so nothing's changed. So I've done something that you guys may or may not think is petty. My mother-in-law has asked for us to join monthly family dinners with her side of the family. I prefer her side of my husband's family, but my husband is closer to his dad's side, so we see them more. Usually, I wouldn't accept an invite like this without checking with my husband, but since she asked him first and he ignored her, I decided to accept on his behalf. The first dinner is on Sunday, which is the day we were also supposed to have dinner with his grandfather on his dad's side, but he never told me that was happening, and neither did anyone else. His dad's side have a horrible habit of just assuming we'll be at something because they've told us. Part of me thinks the dinner with his grandfather is a lie, because I know he's been avoiding his half-brother like the plague since he keeps asking him for an investment, and his step-siblings will be there. My husband told me to cancel, but I don't want to because my mother-in-law was so happy when I said yes. Also, his sister will be there, and I haven't seen her in forever. I won't stop him from canceling if he really wants to, but he's turned this situation into a fight because I didn't ask him first, and now I don't want to be the one to cancel. He's basically said, if we go to the first one, he expects me to tell my mother-in-law, this won't be a regular thing, but I think he should be the one to do that, since I have no problem having dinner with them regularly. Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. Apparently, your husband has delegated to you the task of being his calendar secretary. He implicitly sent his mother to you when he didn't respond to his mother. If he doesn't like how you are handling your duties as his calendar secretary, he is free to demote you and reassign those responsibilities. You're not in the wrong. Was it petty? Was it understandable? Also yes. Are you an idiot? Absolutely not. I don't generally agree with being petty with your partner's spouse, but in this case, I can see why you did. You made it clear to his family to ask him, which his mom did and was ignored, and you have talked to him repeatedly about not wanting to manage the social calendar with his family. You should not have to be a go-between. I was in your position for years with my husband's family. It was an old-school thing where it was the women who managed all the events, invites, passing along of information, etc. At first, I went along with it so I didn't rock the boat. But over time, I really started to resent it. My husband and I both have demanding careers, yet I was expected to take on the mental load of all the planning, communication with his family, and my family, and our friends. If it was a few things here and there, I wouldn't be as bothered. But it was frequent. Luckily, my husband understood, and eventually his family got it. Now, his family will direct things to both of us, which I am totally cool with. There are times when they will ask him alone, or me alone, but that is because it happens organically. E.g., if I am on the phone with my mother-in-law and she tells me something that I know to pass on to my husband. Your husband doesn't get to have it both ways. If he won't put on his big boy pants and manage his own schedule, he doesn't get to be upset that you arrange playdates with kids he doesn't like that much. Next time he complains, remind him that you are not his mother, and he is welcome to handle his own affairs. You're not in the wrong. Next up, my F-35 husband, M35, and I live in a relatively small house with one area to watch TV. We do have an unfinished basement that currently contains an area for working out, an area for doing laundry, and then the rest is storage. For context, I do not work on Fridays, but my husband does. My favorite show is RuPaul's Drag Race, which airs on Friday nights. My husband does not like this show, which is his right, and when I watch it, he feels the need to go in the basement, for the entire hour and a half that it's on. It's recently caused a lot of contention in our relationship, because he feels that he shouldn't have to be relegated to the basement on Friday nights after he works hard. This is the only show that I watch when it airs, and I don't like to record it and watch it later because I don't want to see spoilers on social media, which are nearly impossible for me to avoid. I just don't think I'm being unreasonable by wanting to watch one show on one night of the week for an hour and a half. I'm not forcing him to go to the basement. He could easily go into the bedroom instead. Tell me, Reddit, am I in the wrong? Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. You aren't making him do anything. He's basically telling you that you can't watch it without wanting to actually say it. Suck it up and play on that phone, like even toddlers manage when mom is boring. Find a hobby. This is why they exist. Your Sitchin but Wi-Fi plus Xbox Basic Smart TV? Ask for him time as a reciprocation. He can't. Say you're making him leave if you aren't. Use that falsehood to control you. I can absolutely understand not wanting to watch that show, but any normal person would just go do something else for a little bit, no big deal. Is it 'cause they're effeminate/gay? So he hates the show so much, he couldn't stand going to the bedroom or staying in the main room doing something else, even with headphones? Phones and computers can stream entertainment quite easily in various forms. Whining about not controlling the entertainment once a week, for only the weeks the show is airing new episodes, sounds like picking a fight. He's being dramatic. He could even go for a walk or spend time with friends. You're not in the wrong. You're not in the wrong. It's his choice to sashay away. Nobody is telling him where to go. So Shantae, you stay. If he seriously can't deal with you spending 90 whole minutes a week doing something you like that he's not into, that's a pretty bad husband, to be honest. Next up, my family has been dealing with my brother C for a long time at this point, both legally and financially. He has been in and out of jail for DUIs and heroin over the course of the last 8 years. I went out to get the mail last week, not something I get to normally do since I work, and noticed I had something come addressed to me from the local township. It's a letter telling me that I missed my first court date for a speeding ticket. As someone who has never been arrested or pulled over, my anxiety shot through the roof immediately, and I began trying to figure out how this was possible. My dad suggested I go down to the municipal building to talk to the clerk to see what they can do, which turned out to be a great idea. The town clerk takes the letter with my ID and prints out a copy of the ticket that was issued. All of the information was right, mine, except the make, model, registration number, and license plate number of the car involved. The car involved is my brother's car. So, from what I can surmise, at some point C found one of my old licenses and decided to keep it. He got pulled over for speeding in December, and instead of having his license suspended again, priors, he gave the trooper my old ID. The clerk said the reason the ID wasn't flagged as expired was because my current ID has the same ID number. So even if that particular instance of my license was expired, my license in general is in good standing. This is something I don't fully understand. What's the point of the expiration dates then? I'd like to question the issuing officer as well, as we don't look much alike, and there's probably body cam footage of the stop available that will prove beyond any doubt what actually happened. The conundrum is this. When I got home and explained the situation, my dad was irate. Not at C, of course, but at me. Because you don't treat him like a brother, you've been trying to throw him under the bus for years, and then he started doing all the mental gymnastics regarding what could have really happened. Maybe the trooper made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. The reality of the situation is that if I go to my second appointed court date, plead not guilty, and tell them what really happened, my brother will likely be charged with false impersonation, disseminating false information, and maybe mail fraud, and he'll be going back to jail, likely never seeing my dad free again. Dad is 74 and has cancer. My dad wants me to eat the ticket and points on my license, despite believing my brother's flimsy claim that he didn't do it. He is still denying it, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Oh, and if I do go through with this, my relationship with my dad will likely be non-existent. He might even try to kick me out, Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. So on top of supporting your brother's lying to law enforcement, now they want you to lie by accepting a ticket you know you didn't receive? Nope. Go, explain exactly what you know. You didn't get the ticket, the vehicle information is your brother's, etc. And let what happens happen. This is on him, not on you. I'm sorry they both suck and they're treating you like this. You're not in the wrong. Sorry, but your brother has knowingly committed offenses and expects you to take it on the chin because you're family. Not cool. He's done it intentionally, knowing it was a possibility, had a plan, and stolen your license all with the intention of getting away with it. Your dad is blinded by this and your brother's past behavior. I guess you have the awful decision of what to do next, knowing it could affect your relationship with your dad. Not an easy one to make. At the end of the day, your brother is an adult and knows right from wrong, and he chose to go down this path in life. He knows actions have consequences, yet still chooses to do the wrong thing. You're in an awful predicament. I don't envy you. You're not in the wrong. Your brother committed a crime by using a false ID. Your father is 100% wrong here, regardless of his health condition and age. Go to court and get it sorted out. Next up, I, 27F, am getting married this spring to my boyfriend, 26M. We have been planning our wedding for 2 years now, and have been trying to get blessings from both sides of our families, but only my family was supportive of our decision to get married. While receiving racist remarks from my to-be in-laws, they disapproved of us getting married and wanted us to wait a while before settling down. Since we weren't receiving full support, we decided to plan the wedding ourselves and finalize the details like date, venue, catering, etc. We are not and have not asked for any financial support, and they have not asked if we need help in any aspect of the planning. I also asked a family friend's daughter, 4F, to be the flower girl after the engagement, and her mom agreed. Fast forward about a year since the flower girl was confirmed. My boyfriend's older brother and his wife recently gave birth to a baby girl. Let's call her Amy. And they have been badgering us about allowing their baby, will be 11 memo by the time of the wedding, my fiancé's niece, be the flower girl. My boyfriend and I pointed out that Amy isn't guaranteed to be able to walk by that time. And Amy's father responded by saying that he could carry her down the aisle. When we initially said no to that idea, as I think it's weird giving the role of a flower girl to a child that won't be physically able to do any of the normal flower girl duties, and it would look ugly having a toddler walk down next to an adult holding a baby. Amy's father and Amy's grandmother kept on badgering us with the same questions. Can Amy be the flower girl? What color theme is your wedding? We'll buy a dress for Amy. Since Amy is our first and only grandchild, it's tradition for our family for her to be flower girl. Am I in the wrong to reject Amy as the flower girl? Here is some context. Amy's father and my boyfriend have 2 other siblings. Amy is currently 7 mo and cannot crawl or sit up unassisted. Amy's father and Amy's grandmother make racist comments about me behind my back. Let's start judging. Pretty sure you and your husband should be no contact with anyone being racist. Is your husband going to allow that racism to be directed at any children you have? Your fiancé should be handling his racist family. They shouldn't even be invited to your wedding. Why would you want a racist there, or anyone who bows down to their demands? That's not even factoring in how dumb it would be to have a flower girl who can't even walk yet. Double dumb to have a flower girl be held by her racist father walking down the aisle on your wedding day that you will have photos from. Oh, dear husband. Look at this photo of the man who is racist to me and his kid from our wedding. It would taint the day for me personally. Your fiancé should be the one shutting this down and shutting it all down hard. Otherwise, I'd rethink the marriage. Because why is your fiancé okay with his own family being racist to his soon-to-be wife? You're not in the wrong. You're not in the wrong. How can it be a tradition if she's the first? That's some wild boomer mental gymnastics. Stick to your decisions. BF needs to be the one to shut his family down. Be prepared for some fallout, like them threatening not to come if she's not flower girl. Be prepared for some antics on wedding day. Have some of your family and friends ready to run interference on the day. Budget money to Photoshop dress colors or smiles onto faces. Password protect your vendors. You're not in the wrong. You already have a flower girl. And that's entirely too young for a child to be involved in the wedding. Next up, me and my partner decided to move in together to save up money and have a little financial freedom. Few days after moving, her in her vehicle blows up and loses her job. By that I mean she just went home and was a no-call, no-show with her last point. I'm frustrated, but try and stay positive about it. She quickly gets a job at FedEx. She hates it, quits 4 days later. I have to get on her about helping around the house while she isn't working or contributing. Ask her if she could donate plasma or anything for side money. She doesn't. 2 months go by and we fight and break up. She sells some things and leaves. She stays with bad people, claims they do drugs. One person stole all her money, and the person she was at last dog bit her and she's bruised up. I feel bad. I let her stay to get out of the situation. She was gone 2 weeks. A week or so later, she gets a job. We agree she can stay if she is paying. Temp service job. She was there a month, moved wrong thing on forklift, and they said they wanted to drug test her. She walks out. This was Christmas time, and I told her this is not a good time for this. Another month of nothing goes by. I tell her she needs to get out. She tells me how awful I am for kicking her out when she doesn't have many options. Am I? I scraped by living by myself. Now my bills have tripled. I'm paying for everything, and I'm in debt in just those short 5 to 6 months. I do feel bad, but I can't keep supporting someone else. Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. It sounds like you've been more than patient and given her multiple chances to pull her weight. Supporting someone else financially and emotionally can really drain your own resources, and it's not sustainable if they're not making a serious effort to contribute. It's tough to set boundaries, especially when you care about someone, but you've got to protect your own well-being too. Sometimes you just have to say, "This is where I draw the line," and stick to it. You're not a bad person for needing to take care of yourself first. Keep your chin up. You're not in the wrong. You answered your own question in the last line. You're trying to save money and are not in the position to support someone else. She's not paying, so she should leave. Simple as that. You're not in the wrong. She's been draining your pockets and energy while making no real effort to step up. You gave her multiple chances and she fumbled every time. It's not heartless. It's survival. You can't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm.